Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your host, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
What is good? What is good, my pretty babies? Covering the latest in wrestling, entertainment, and beyond since 2011. You are checking out episode number 1070 of the RCWR show for this Wednesday night of January 10th, 2024. We are 10 days into the new calendar year. Hopefully it's off to a great start for you guys. I gotta tell you guys, I'm enjoying the year so far, although I'm sure many of you guys would agree with me. Once you're done officially with the holidays, then it's all about catching up on the household bills. That dreadful, okay, got to catch up on the... So I'm in that phase right now. I'm sure many of you out there can definitely relate. So, and then also making sure I have everything I need for this upcoming semester, which is going to be my most busiest yet. Luckily, I don't need that many textbooks for this upcoming semester. I only need to grab about 2 to maybe 3 at most, but my God, is it just me, or does it seem like the rental fees are more expensive than actually trying to own the textbooks outright? I mean, it is freaking ridiculous. Like, one of the books that I need, which is for a introduction into writing news media, news reports and all that, one of the books that I need, you can rent it for $80. And if you want to own it, I think in this particular case, because usually it's the other way around, what I just described, but in this case, it's $78 to about $80 to rent. And then if you want to own it outright, a used copy, mind you, then you're going to have to pay about $125, almost $150. And you're just looking at that going, Amazon used to have their rental program before anybody brings that up, but they have suspended it now. The way it's looking as far as trying to rent physical copies of textbooks, that's no longer available. Maybe that's because it wasn't as profitable from the previous years, which is kind of weird when you think about it, because when Amazon had first started, you all are definitely showing your age like me that remember this, but Amazon at one point was the go-to place for your textbooks and get them for a really, really good deal. That's how it all started off with Amazon before it branched off into movies and music and all of that other goodness that we've become so accustomed to without even really putting much thought into the history of the company and all that. Its origins. Remember, it started from Jeff Bezos' mom's basement. Shout out if you know the Amazon story. So, yeah, they suspended it, but you can still do stuff digitally for rent, and that's only if it's available. It's kind of weird, I know, but I'm just hoping I have everything squared away by the time we get there. Hey, what did you think about tonight's AEW Dynamite? Interesting, because they didn't really hype it up enough, I personally feel, and honestly, it was greatly overshadowed by some of Tony Khan's latest social media antics. I mean, we can all definitely be in agreement of that, which we'll talk about later on, but they not only, AEW, that is, returned to Daly's Place, where pretty much AEW Dynamite and all that all began, but this was their tribute show to Brody Lee. Now, some of you guys may say, well, wait a minute here, Lee. Why didn't they recognize Brody Lee, I don't know, the week of AEW World's End? you just answered your question right then and there. You get it? You got it? Good. Okay. So that's the reason why they basically decided, we want to give it its own respected episode, its own respected week. And that's pretty much what we had got here tonight. You can sound off, let your voices be heard on what you thought about this week's AEW Dynamite. I kept it short and simple for you guys. A thumbs up, a thumbs down, middle of the road. You can vote via X, formerly known as Twitter, at the RCWR show, or on YouTube. Hop on the communities tab, cast your vote that way. And look, while you guys are out there casting your votes on these wrestling polls, there's a poll that we got out right now. It's for the 2024 Wrestling Awards. If you have not cast your vote yet, what the hell are you waiting for? Especially if you're joining me live right now. Open up your web browser tab while you got me playing in the background and you're listening to me, and fill that bad boy out. If you've been on top of your wrestling for all of 2023, then it should be very, very easy for you to fill that bad boy out, okay? It should be very easy for you to fill that bad boy out. And if you've been on top of your wrestling like that, it's only going to take you about, I would say, 10 minutes at most, might be even shorter than that, to fill that out. You'll be able to enter for a raffle drawing, if you so choose to enter it, for a copy of WWE 2K24 for your respected platform. Don't get no better than that. I mean, come on now. So get to it, cast your vote, all that. Look, I thought in regards to the show for tonight, fairly decent. I gotta admit to you guys, I found myself kind of in and out. I don't know if a lot of you guys were that way with Dynamite tonight, but I have it playing on my big screen TV, and then I have it playing on my phone. And so, like, if I'm going in between rooms, I'm just, okay, it's right there. But I found myself a bit disengaged with this week's episode. And I do not know for the love of me why. You would have thought that, okay, well, no. It's a Brody Lee tribute show, and, should be some pretty solid matches for the most part. You should be able to get into this. Maybe because of the distractions that was going on with Tony Khan these past couple of weeks, maybe that was it, but I just don't really know. But I know as far as the in-ring action tonight goes for this week's Dynamite, it was pretty solid. Look, I love the fact that they opened things up with Claudio Castagnoli and Hangman Page. I thought that was a great way to open up your show. And I love the setup for their return here at Daly's Place, because it almost was a bit of a throwback to how it was during the pandemic era when there weren't any fans in attendance. It kind of gave me one of those type of vibes and everything. Claudio picking up the win. Great opener to kick off Dynamite. I want to say this match went almost 20 minutes. I love these two just going back and forth. Balls to the walls. Even though you maybe didn't have a build up for this match, just the fact that two of the best, I'm looking at you mainly, Claudio, were out there opening up this show, putting on a great match for the fans. Good stuff right here. I loved it. It's a good opener. From there, Orange Cassidy, Dustin Rhodes, Edge, Adam Copeland, and Preston Vance taking on Brian Cage, Gates of Agony, Lance Archer. Team of Adam Copeland, Preston Vance, Dustin, Cassidy picking up the win. I love the fact that as far as how the win went down, I love the fact that it was Lance that picked up the Preston Vance. I apologize. I said Lance. I apologize. I love that Preston Vance was the one that pretty much was able to pick up the win for the team there. It's a nice big win for Preston Vance, who, let's be honest, ever since we had saw him come up out of that mask, he has pretty much been used sporadically on AEW programming, and some fans that were having high hopes, high expectations for the big man,
I would imagine, felt greatly disappointed that the big man hadn't been properly utilized on TV. So the fact that it is still early in 2024 and you see how he was incorporated, the people that he was paired up with for this tag match, and the fact that he was the one that picked up the win for the team. Great showing all throughout. I mean, from everybody, but particularly at Preston Vance. Shout out to him for holding his own and everything. You would just hope that as far as 2024 goes, what we saw here tonight with Preston is just a little bit of a sample of things to come for the big man. We shall wait and see how it all plays out and everything. But hopefully they will use this to try to launch the guy into some regular AEW TV appearances. They could always use him on Rampage. They could always use him on Collision. I mean, we've got so many people that you all have brought up over the past several weeks. Yo, seems like this person or these same two people are always being rotated on Rampage. Or, man, these people are always on Collision. Why not we come back here? What's up with that? I feel you. I feel where you guys are coming from, and I'm definitely in agreement with you all. Meanwhile, Samoa Joe in the house wearing a nice spiffy looking suit. Was anybody else thinking Main Event Mafia when he was out there in the suit and everything? That was one of my favorite time periods in TNA wrestling. Shout out to TNA wrestling, by the way. I wasn't even going to mention them until later on. And then actually, I wasn't even going to mention them at all, but have y'all been keeping tabs on the introduction of new TNA titles? We got a new TNA women's title, I believe, a new X Division title. They just unveiled the new TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Man, chef's kiss. Those titles look badass. And, of course, they've got their Hard to Kill premium live event that's going to be coming up later this month. I'm looking forward to checking out that event. Whether or not I'll do a post-show covering Fallout, that remains to be seen. But Samoa Joe out there sporting his nice, spiffy-looking suit and everything. Was getting chants from the crowd. They were chanting, "Thank you, Joe," and he pretty much told them, no. No thanks are needed because at the end of the day, your man was destined for this. And that as far as tonight going forward goes, there's going to be some changes made to how the protocol goes down for a challenger to his championship. He talks about how when you're the champion, obviously you become a marked man. You heard even a devil who made a bad deal is looking for him. He says he's running things here going forward. Talks about how there's not going to be any more of BS crap going down with social media and making your little hoe-ass comments. He says if they are deemed worthy, they can walk down the ramp and get stomped out in front of everybody who has ever cheered for them. This is a new championship era, and anyone who wants a piece of him, the champion, will be waiting patiently. Well, cue up Swerve Strickland, who comes out, but he's not alone. He's pretty much got Gates of Agony, Brian Cage, my main man, Prince Nana. It ain't complete unless you got Prince Nana out there and everything. I'm telling you, one of these days, I am going to do some type of a video trying to do one of those Prince Nana dances, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to do it. I don't know if I'll do it with a slice of pizza in my hand. I don't know if I'm going to do it with maybe a pretzel in my hand. I don't know if I'm going to do it with a donut in my hand, but I'm going to do the Nana dance sooner or later. Swerve coming on out there, talks about how it's his first time at Daly's Place, but instead they need to go ahead and call it Swerve's House. References how a few months ago he told Heyman Page it wasn't personal, but that he was after his spot. And as far as he's concerned, he took that bad boy. He also reiterated the same sentiment towards Samoa Joe, once again saying, yo, nothing personal, but I wants that title of yours. I needs that title of yours. And guess what, big dog? I am going to take that bad boy. And, hey, again, nothing personal. But he does say to Samoa Joe after he takes it, if Joe does want to make it personal, he'll be more than happy. He'll be more than happy to accommodate him as well. Hangman Page comes out. Doesn't like the fact that his name was evoked and all that. He comes into the mix, mean mugging like a mofo. Talks about how 2023 was a handful for him. He beat Jon Moxley. He reunited with the Elite, and he feuded with Swerve. He lost sight of what he really should have been locked on, which is that AEW World Heavyweight Championship. But that 2024 is here, and as far as he's concerned, he's looking to make amends. He want to make things right. He's looking to become the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. So already right here, we've got instant two feuds right here intertwined with Samoa Joe here. Woo, I mean, this is just looking pretty badass right here for our new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, as at this point he takes a step back so that he actually tries to make his way out the ring, giving Swerve and Hangman a chance to throw down or whatever it is that's going to go down and everything. Page barely looks at Samoa Joe as his eyes are locked on Swerve Strickland. Swerve leaves the ring with his entourage, and then Page goes as well. This was just really weird what was going on here, because it's like, wait a minute, we got these people that are talking about AEW World Championship ambitions, and yet you've got the champion right there in the ring, and yet when it really counts the most, everybody's just disappearing. Obviously, Hangman still has a bone with Swerve, right? We get that, but to just leave the champion there unchecked, what the hell? Well, just when things couldn't get any more interesting in this respected chapter, like a freaking bat signal in the air, we see the Hook signal with the text and everything spotlight. Here's music. Hook comes on out. He's pointing at the title. All right, so Samoa Joe, a marked man, and let's not forget that in 1 week, Hook, Samoa Joe fighting for that AEW World Heavyweight Championship, as Samoa Joe will be putting that bad boy on the line. I know that Hook, poor Hook, his name has been dragged into the mix in the past 7 days with all the stuff that was going on there with Jinder Mahal and Tony Khan and Eric Bischoff, and we'll talk about all that, because we got to make sure, for those of you that's not caught up to speed on everything, that we give you the respected timeline of how everything, and I'll definitely sound off my thoughts on how all that had went down. Ricky Starks taking on Sammy Guevara. You know, I love these two. It's like that scene in The Dark Knight where Two-Face has the kids, the wife, and he's telling Commissioner Gordon, he's asking him, which one is your favorite? And Gordon, he's like, he's not choosing. He doesn't want to, because he knows that's a damn setup. With Two-Face, basically, he's able to figure out, yeah, okay, this is your favorite. Okay, gotcha. Hated to choose between, because I love both of these guys in the ring. I really, really do love both of them. I mean, only thing that would have been even more icing on the cake is if my man Daniel Garcia would have been thrown into this mix and it would have been a triple threat. Then you just go, oh my God. Good God almighty. You feel where I'm coming from. Sammy Guevara picking up the win. This was a case where I was going, wow, no, this match should have been a little bit longer. You got the right participants. This should have definitely gone at least almost 15 minutes, give or take. I love this match the most of all the matches that went down tonight. This was the one that, right down to the point, I felt like it was a nice throwback, if you will, to what all was going down. And that's the interesting part. A lot of what was going on with the in-ring action for tonight's Dynamite, it reminded me so much of year one of AEW within reason, as far as, hey man, we really want to be that true alternative. We really want to entertain the masses. We really want to go out there, put on a really good show for you guys, give you some great matches, and you're kind of getting that vibe all throughout and everything. And this match, definitely, of all the matches that was on the card, I enjoyed this one quite a lot. Post-match, Sammy Guevara celebrating. Ricky, White hot Ricky, don't lose that number. It's the only one you want. You might use it when you feel better. When you get home. Steely Dan for you guys. Don't ask. Anyway, I don't know. It just popped up in my head. That Asia album is a damn good album, by the way. I mean, play that bad boy, especially if you get a vinyl version of that. Just play that bad boy on a record machine there. Oh, man. Great stuff. Great stuff. Anyway, Sammy celebrating. Rubbing it into Ricky Stark's face and everything. Next thing you know, Big Bill comes from out of nowhere, starts attacking the hell out of him. And then, I don't know why they did this. Well, let me not. I know why they did this. Okay? I know why. So let me not even try to pretend on this one. But Chris Jericho comes out to defend Sammy G as he's taking the fight to Big Bill. And while this is going on, Chris Jericho's Judas music just continues to play. And this was just unprecedented because, normally you don't get this. Normally you'll get the music playing and then there's a run out and then the music will stop and then there's just the continuation of two guys fighting or two girls fighting throughout the arena. They make their way to the back. Then we transition to the commentators. Oh my God, cue up Tony Schiavone. Oh, that was something, whatever. But they continue to let the Judas music play just over and over. And you're going, okay, we get it. They're trying to protect Chris Jericho. They want to make sure that as far as the booing, the heckling goes and all that, they want to make sure that's drowned out because there is a certain perception they obviously want for this man to have. Right? We get that. And for those of you that might be a little bit curious, because I know when we did the show last week and we were talking about that whole Chris Jericho, the media scrum and all that other crap, we were talking about how, hey, Jericho has been, radio silent all throughout social media. He hasn't jumped out there, put some type of a statement as we had highlighted on the shows last week. The sooner that he gets in front of this, the better, because the ever-continuing silence, it just looks really, really bad on so many levels. For those of you that might be curious, if he put out some type of a statement, he has not. He has done a couple of repostings for some of his friends in the metal business. He's done some stuff as far as Cat Williams. There's a little Cat Williams, Netflix is a joke special, but that's pretty much it. He has continued to remain air silent. Not so much radio silent, but just air silent. Like, you would think that even with his Talk is Jericho podcast, you would think that the man would at least, hey, look, I'm only going to be one and done with this. I've got nothing but respect for Tony Khan. He's been a great boss and everything, but, one thing that was not made crystal clear, and I want to make sure that we set the record straight. I mean, the man is not even touching it on his podcast. So, I mean, you guys take that, and if you want to run conspiracy theory, you want to quote Reba McEntire, let's give him something to talk about. You want to talk about that, go ahead, knock yourself off. I'm already exhausted from the previous week talking about all of that, but just an update for you guys, for those of you all that might be a little bit curious, and you're not on top of your social media game, you don't really check it out like that. Yes, he's continued to remain silent in regards to that. So, yeah, you had that music blasting all over the place. You're almost kind of reminded of that moment from that one AEW pay-per-view where we had that group out there that was singing Jon Moxley's Wild Thing theme song over and over, and everybody was like, what is going on with this dude pushing a black face? What the hell? And the music just kept playing over and over and over again. Yeah, it was one of those kind of moments tonight that was pretty funny, honestly. From there, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Anna Jay, and Thunder Rosa. Love that Thunder Rosa. Shout out to my girl Thunder Rosa. Love, love, love that girl. She is continuing to put out some really damn good content on that YouTube channel. It's really come a long ways, I gotta say. It's come a long ways. They all teamed up to take on Saraya, Ruby Soho, Sky Blue, and Julia Hart. Team of Statlander, Willow, Anna, Thunder picking up the win. And you guys can jump in and let me know right now, but I could be mistaken. Let me say that up front. I was a little bit distracted beginning to prepare for the show at this point, but was Stokely Hathaway out there? Because we've had this running gag for the past couple of weeks now where Stokely Hathaway has been out there and he's basically been trying to court Chris Statlander. And I still remember the epic rhyme that he had for my girl, Chris Statlander. And at first you're hearing all of these rhymes and you're going, oh, he's talking about freaking Willow Nightingale. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, he likes him cute and thick and all that good stuff, right? And there was one line that he said in there, and I just remember going, yo, I am so going to use that to my woman, right? Like, I'm so going to reference her. I think he said something along the lines of thicker than a Snicker or something along those lines. I'm trying to see if I had saved it in my phone, because sometimes I'll get like some really good note ideas and I'll save it in my freaking phone. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's actually, because I'm looking at my phone right now and I don't see it in here. So I would imagine it's definitely on my tablet. But he said some line like thicker than a Snicker. And I'm going, yo, that sounds brilliant. Like, it's corny as hell. But it's like, but it kind of works in the right moment, right? Like, okay, I like that. But I don't recall seeing Stokely Hathaway on this show, which was kind of weird because you definitely wanted to have that continuation going there and everything, right? Way this ended, Anna Jay was the one that picked up the win for the team. And considering the way how 2023 pretty much had ended for Anna Jay, I know myself, a lot of you guys in the wrestling community, especially shout out to you guys that follow my work over on the 401 Mania site, because I'm typically Friday nights covering Rampage for you guys, which reminds me, not only will I be doing Rampage again, but I'm doing a bonus show this weekend. Totally blanked out on the fact that me and the staff at 401 Mania, we blanked out on the fact that there's going to be another AEW Battle of the Belt special. It's actually going to be their 9th edition. That's going to come on immediately after Collision goes off the air, so at 10 p.m. Eastern. So we're talking about basically 3 hours of AEW live programming. So I'll actually be covering that 1 hour edition of Battle of the Belt, so for Saturday. So for those of you that maybe, you could be around, you want to maybe hang out in the chat, while the battle special is on, just know I'll be there. I'll be covering the event. Come in, drop in, say hello, all that good stuff and everything. But considering how things had kind of ended there on a little bit of a sour note for Anna Jay, but with so much prospect going into 2024, much like how I had said in regards to Preston Vance, it was nice seeing Anna Jay come away with the W here for her team and everything. This match, I would say if there was ever a match where you're looking at and you're going, okay, this is definitely a true Brody tribute, it was definitely this one, especially considering the fact that Brody had such high expectations, went on record many times talking about Anna Jay and everything. But you're looking at this and you're going, okay, the win to Anna Jay and the team, particularly Anna Jay picking up the win, okay, that's good. But then you could also make an argument that, maybe this actually should have gone to Sky Blue. Maybe Sky Blue should have been the one to pick up the win, because you just kind of feel as though with the current story arc that's going on, maybe eventually Sky Blue and Julia Hart, maybe they'll cross paths for that championship, right? Which brings me to another point, and that's the fact that Sky Blue, Julia Hart, The fact that it's all kumbaya and the girls are on the same page. Oh, no problem whatsoever. Water under the bridge. We homegirls. We kicking it. Just chilling. I just found that to be so weird. There should have been a little bit of friction between these two girls for my personal taste. I don't know how you guys personally feel about that, but that's just where I am. You know what really would have been badass too is if after the match was over, it really would have been badass to see all the girls turn their attention to Julia Hart looking at that freaking championship of hers, that TBS championship. And it's like, hey, and then that's what it's all about. If you are part of the AEW roster, if you're a part of the AEW women's roster, that's one of the titles that you're gunning for. You're either gunning for the AEW women's championship or you're gunning for the TBS championship. Hey, all these women letting it be known now that this tag team match is over and done with. It's pretty much anybody's game, right? There can only be one, basically. And it would have been nice to see all the lights go out and Julia Hart freaking disappears. Now, of course, I guess we got to continue on this whole Sky Blue, Julia Hart allegiance or whatever. But, hell, I would have settled for a case where all the girls surrounded Julia and Sky Blue basically is a sacrificial lamb and pushes Julia out the way as the rest of the girls gang up on Sky Blue. Lights go off, come back on. Sky Blue's no longer there. Do some spooky stuff there. Every time you turn around, they love turning on and off them damn lights. Clap on, clap on, clap on, clap on, clap on, clap off. Yeah, it's like, come on, seriously. From there, Roderick Strong taking on the Cowboy, Brian Keith. Keep wanting to say Urban Keith. Roderick Strong picking up the win. So. Could have done without the match, quite honestly. Adam Cole speaking afterwards. Honestly, this was just a recycled joint from the pay-per-view. No, because they didn't really talk during the pay-per-view, right? Yeah, no, they just popped up, did what they did. No, it was the first Dynamite afterwards where there was a talking segment. I just looked at this as a continuation of that verbiage. And, at this point, I'm just going, what are we really going to do here? What's really, really going on here? What team is going to truly step up to the plate and really, and to that point, and I just felt this was so weird, the way the direction of storytelling was played out on tonight's Dynamite, because much earlier in the night, we see the Bang Bang Gang, Bullet Club Gold, and the Acclaimed. They're going, look, just imagine if we joined forces. Man, we could go and collect all the gold here. It's definitely something to think about. Bang Bang Scissor Me Daddy. I don't know the name that they came up with, some silly name, and I'm going, okay, whatever, right? An alliance, a truce, basically. And yet, if there was ever a time for all those guys who we just saw much earlier in the night to come on now and let their presence be felt to the Undisputed Kingdom, this would have been the time and the place right now. But, those guys did not come out. It's really weird. I did not get that whatsoever. Anyway, Deonna Purrazzo backstage chatting it up with Renee Paquette. Basically, Deonna Purrazzo is on cloud nine that she is in AEW, but she loves the fact that Toni Storm is continuing to act like she doesn't know who she is and everything. But welcomes her to check out her in-ring debut match on Collision this Saturday, where she'll officially make her debut. Red Velvet pops up from out of nowhere. Love that Red Velvet. Basically saying, oh, okay, you're making your debut? Great. I want to challenge you. What's up? Let's have a match. Deonna accepts. So, Deonna Purrazzo and Red Velvet getting it on this Saturday. I'm looking forward to that match. And I really hope that Tony Khan and crew, I really hope they let these girls tell a good story. I'm not saying you got to let these girls go 15 minutes, but let these girls go at least about close to 10 minutes as possible. Hopefully it can happen during a particular time where we don't have to worry about commercial break, particularly no picture-in-picture. I hate picture-in-picture. Look, I got a 72-inch flat screen TV, so I can see a lot. But even when we have a picture-in-picture break, it's just a major turnoff for me. It just is, because it's just basically, okay, well, I was interested in this match, but I guess I can go do something else. That's the message that I always take when I get those picture-in-picture breaks. I look at it as an official commercial break. Teach it so. Anyway, Falls Count Anywhere match. Sting! Darby Allin taking on Powerhouse Hobbs and Takesha. Jim Ross, Ric Flair on commentary for this one. But no, that wasn't the most sad, depressing moment that happened from this thing. One of two sad, depressing things went down. The first one being Ric Flair had enough as he got in the ring at one point and tried to do his trademark chops to Powerhouse Hobbs. Hobbs doing a great job, pretty much no-selling that bad boy, and then poke to the eyes of Hobbs from the Nature Boy. And woo, watching the Nature Boy struggle to get out of the ring in between those ropes. I did not care to see that. I really didn't. And then, actually, no, 3 sad spots when I think about it now. That match was just a big old clusterfuck, wasn't it? Because now I'm thinking 4. Every time I think more about this match, I think about the clusterfucks that I saw going on in that match. Let's not also forget there was a crazy spot where Darby Allin called himself doing a coffin drop from some... Where did he do it? Did he do it from the top of the... Yeah, he did it on top of some type of structure, maybe going towards the ramp. Takesha, I'm not going to even say barely catches him. I'm going to just say, Takesha, what the hell, dude? Because definitely a good piece of Darby's back hit the hard surface. It was the most lamest ass, just drop, I'll catch you. And I'll fall. Whoa! Coffin drop onto me. You showed me, bud. It was a terrible spot that just left me going, I hope that dude is okay. And I'm watching Darby Allin, because they took the camera away after that spot went down. They took the camera away for a little bit, and rightfully so, to make sure that Darby was still intact and everything. It took that young Daredevil at that, a long time to get up to his feet, and he was grimacing the whole time, even after the match was over. I mean, his face, he was just making just the most... Obviously, that dude was in pain. Seriously. I felt bad for the kid. I really, really did. It's like, Takesha, come on, man. You couldn't catch... Very rare I take a shot at Takesha, but this was one of those instances where it's like, dude, you were in the right place at the right time. What the hell did you think you were supposed to do right there? It was really, really weird. Because the way he did it, it wasn't wet arms wide open. It wasn't one of those positions. It was pretty much, okay, so you're falling. Now I'm thinking about one of those, who sung that song, that 80s hit song? Catch me, I'm falling. Dun, 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 dun. Catch me, boy, I'm falling in love. You got to forgive me. I'm like in an old school mode tonight. But it wasn't like Takesha was like arms wide open. Takesha's just, okay, so I'm going to intercept this coffin drop by having the back of your back hit my shoulder. Yeah, and that's how that'll... And as you see this go down, you got to really play it in slow motion. You're just kind of realizing, I think Takesha realized at the last split second, this wasn't a good idea. I really should have just opened my arms and tried to catch the guy. Yeah, you think? But wait, it gets worse. Then we have this spot that's over towards the fans where Sting gets Powerhouse Hobbs and sets him up for a freaking scorpion death drop into the tables. You're going, oh. Doc Sampson there, but they're checking on Sting. Meanwhile, we go back to Darby, who's continuing to have a grimacing look on his face. He has this concerned look on his face. Is Sting okay? Like, is Sting going to make it to Revolution? I mean, legit. That's his facial expression. Finally, we see Sting come to his feet, and we're going, okay, well, I'm assuming Sting's okay, but, okay. Sure, bud. Hopefully you're okay. But just bad spots, bad stuff all the way around. And to those that are saying, yo, I pop seeing Sting in the ring there with Powerhouse Hobbs, please go yourself, please. No, there was nothing cool. There was nothing. Oh, I popped. I marked out. There was nothing. No, it was just, please, sir, please, good kind sir, could you just leave the ring to the younger folks already? Can you let them just do their thing? You can be there at ringside. You can, drink my stuff. It's nasty, but it's good for you. I'll tell you something, brother. What it really needs is a little bit more alcohol. You can give me all of that stuff, all you want. But just, no, I don't want to see you wrestle, my man. I'm really good. I don't want to see no poke to the eyes. I don't want to see no low blow. I don't want to see no figure four. I'm good. I'm good just with you popping up. And I can just go, oh, look at the bling Ric Flair's got on this week. That looks pretty good. Just give me that. I'm good with that, okay? I'm really good with that. But wait, it gets worse. I'm sure you guys are hearing this and you're like, but Lee, was the match even? The match was not that good. It really wasn't. It really wasn't. So, Tony Schiavone, this is where it gets even worse. Tony Schiavone enters the ring, wanting to talk to Sting and everything. This is what they do. Sting's on his farewell tour. March 3rd, Revolution. Right? Who will the opponent be? And before Sting could even answer, the Young Bucks music hits. Matt and Nick, they come out. We have not seen them in almost, 2 months or whatever. And I put a tweet out, and shout out if you know your freaking people. But these brothers came out there looking like the goddamn adult filmmakers, the Mitchell brothers. You don't know the history about the Mitchell brothers, look it up. I'll tell you this, though. If you love a really good movie, there was I believe either Showtime produced it or it was HBO. But back in the day, there was a movie about the brothers, and they were portrayed by real-life brothers Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez. So there you go. But they came out, they've got these, porn mustaches now, and they're wearing, similar hats to what I wear, but like much wider on the sides. And they look like the freaking Mitchell brothers. I'm looking at these guys, and I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm being totally honest. When you see the picture of the Mitchell brothers and you see the Young Bucks return tonight, tell me if I'm lying. But, I'm looking at this and just in real time, I'm going, they look like the damn Mitchell brothers. They look like freaking jokes. What the hell? And we are going off the air, led to the impression that it's the Young Bucks that is going to be challenging Sting and Darby Allin. They basically are going to be Sting's final opponents at Revolution. And I'm going, no. Who asked for this? Obviously the Young Bucks, but no, seriously, what fans are going? Because I legit want to know. I'm not ribbing or legit. I want to know what fans were saying, what would be a great Sting send-off? Let him go up against the Young Bucks. Yeah, Sting and Darby Allin against the Young Bucks. And look, if that's the direction that it's going to go, whether we like it or not, that's how it's going to go down. But I'm just going, man, we can't do, we can't do Ricky Starks and Big Bill. We can't do Chris Jericho and Sammy G. Probably not. Understandably so. We can't do FTR. How about that? How about FTR? We can't do House of Black versus Sting and Darby Allin. Like, I'm just looking at this going, so we're really going to go in this direction. That's all I got to say to that. Seriously. I've seen one Young Bucks match. I've seen them all. Okay? Look, I hope that if it goes down at Revolution, this is the match. I hope that I'm able to come on when it comes time for the live post show and I'm able to say, yo, contrary to how I felt about the Young Bucks off and on, because I've gone on record many times. Y'all know this. That's been checking out the show for a long time. I've gone on record and I've said, look, the Young Bucks, out of a whole calendar year, they will give you 3, possibly 4 matches where you go, okay, this wasn't your typical Young Bucks match. They actually went in there, bust their ass, try to tell a riveting story that played out pretty well before our very eyes. But like, yo, 90% of the time, these guys are just freaking phoning it in, man. Seriously, they're just phoning it in. So, to be continued. We'll see what happens with AEW Dynamite tonight. Decent show with some bright spots here and there, but I mean, really, if you happen to have this on your DVR, I'm just looking back at the matches one more time. I would say, if you're gonna watch this, go out of your way, check out the women's tag match. Check out Sammy Guevara taking on Ricky Starks. And I would also say check out Claudio Castagnoli taking on Heyman Page. And you're honestly good. You don't need to do anything else for that respected week, okay? To the polls we go. Let's see what you all had to say about this week's AEW Dynamite. Let's go to the communities tab here. Early, very, very early. I'm seeing 100% thumbs up. Need you guys to really, really cast your vote there. Let's go to X meanwhile. Let's see how you guys are voting via X. X gives me a better snapshot on what's going on. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So right now we've got a tie for 25%. 25% of you, middle of the road show. The other 25, a thumbs up. Meanwhile, 50% of you are giving this week's AEW Dynamite for January 10th, 2024, a thumbs down. Voting, again, still early, so if you haven't cast your vote yet, jump out there, cast it already. Let's get into some other wrestling news and non-wrestling news stuff. Again, AEW Rampage this Friday. I'll be live on the 401 Mania site providing live coverage and review. So for those of you that will be around, just hop in there and hopefully you're connected to Discus. I know that's a lot of ways that people connect, or you could do Facebook or use your email to connect so you can leave comments, but you can connect that way. And Saturday, I will be live on the site again at 10 p.m. Actually, correction, no, I said it right. I was thinking about a live post show, but no, I'll be live on the site again this Saturday, 10 p.m. to cover the Battle of the Belts 9 special that's going to be going down. Hey, I had a chance to check out the new Marvel Studios series that dropped. All 5 episodes had dropped, just one big dump, okay? One big dump, one big drop on Disney Plus and on Hulu. Marvel Studios Echo. I watched all 5 episodes. It was funny, too, because I got home from work a little bit late last night, and I was kicking back with the wifey and the pups. I'm sure you can hear our youngest one in the background. I was telling Tams the other day, I said, I think that's going to be Holly's permanent voice, because when she barks, right, even whether she's excited or not, or she's, just full of energy or she's agitated, she's got this cute, and it's like, I think that's going to stick with her. And she was like, yeah, I think so too. She's like, but let's give it a few more months. Let's see what happens because maybe it'll develop a little bit more. I'm like, yeah, maybe. I'm like, but, we're almost 6 months in because it's going to be 6 months for her as of next month. But, we were kicking back, chilling and everything. And, afterwards we came upstairs and I said, hey, you want to watch a little bit of news? And, if it's available, maybe see if Echo's out. She's like, yeah, sure. What the hell? So, so we did that, and turns out Echo dropped. I'm like, hey, all right, cool. So we both had watched the first episode, and I asked her for her opinion, and she was like, I like it. Really, really good. Very character driven, really good story arc, a refreshing way to, tell a new story, especially with the sign language and the fact that they're, this is a real actress that is an actual amputee and she's actually deaf. It's like, this is all very intriguing. She liked it. She was pretty tired though, 'cause she had worked a long day and she unfortunately couldn't make it through the rest of the episode. So she was a little bit bummed out that I burned through the rest of them. But I told her, I said, look, I want to be on top of this. I want to be able to talk about this show with the listeners, next time I'm on the air and everything, because I know a lot of the stuff that not just Marvel Studios, but Disney, DC Comics has put out. I know that there is that superhero fatigue right now, and a lot of people are pretty much running for the hills. A lot of people are basically clocking out and saying, no, you know what? I favor, real storytelling instead. I want to try to get away from this whole comic book universe stuff because, man, the burnout, the fatigue, it's definitely real. I know for me personally, I can't really speak for anybody else, but I do believe in the superhero fatigue because let me tell you something, Aquaman, and I appreciate the fact that it's doing some better numbers now. It's number one in the box office a couple of times there. Like right, that's good and everything, but I don't feel the need to go see it. So it's one of those things where, look, if I have HBO Max, which I don't, right? Well, actually, I do have HBO Max because I have it through Prime. I have a subscription through Prime, and right now I've been catching up on vintage episodes of Batman the Animated Series, and I've been catching up on Superman the Animated Series because growing up I didn't see all the episodes for both of those respected shows. And what's been even more fun is the fact that I was picking my wife's brain and I said, hey, did you ever watch Batman the Animated Series? She said, no, I didn't. I'm like, what the fuck were you doing in 1992? And she's like, I was watching cartoons, but I wasn't watching that. It's like, did you even know it existed? She's like, no. So it's fun, trying to look, this is what you missed, and all that good stuff. But I didn't see Aquaman, the sequel. Actually, I didn't see either Aquaman movies in the theater. I did not see, what's the Eternals? I didn't see that in theaters. I did not see Venom 1 and 2 in theaters, although I did end up seeing both of the flicks through Stars last year, and I enjoyed the hell out of the first one. I didn't particularly care so much for the second one, but there's been, okay, yeah, I'm going to skip out on this one. And I tell you what, She-Hulk, and I'm a big fan of She-Hulk. I used to read the comics a lot growing up. So She-Hulk, I'm going, okay, let's see what happens here. And I thought She-Hulk, it was okay, but way too heavy on the Ally McBeal stuff for me. I personally felt. And Secret Invasion, forget about it. That was just a big old dud as far as I was concerned. So for me, Echo looked very, very promising, especially given the fact that everybody associated with this talked about the fact that, the way the groundwork is going to be put in for this respected series, it's going to, really help out with the next phase for Marvel. And as you would imagine, as far as characters like Spider-Man, Daredevil, as expected, maybe even Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, just looking at all of these aspects and you're going, this should really, help these characters out and everything. So going into this series, I had high expectations, I had high hopes. And I only know but just a little bit about the Echo character, and that's largely in part due to some of the Marvel games that I play. So I already know a little bit of the backstory, but now I looked at this as from a viewing standpoint, I looked at this as a challenge for Marvel to convince me, hey, here's why you should give a damn about this character, and it should make you feel to a point where you want to go check out some of the comic books about this character, right? And I thought that they did a really good job in the storytelling. I got to tell you, the fact that we had got introduced to Charlie Cox Daredevil in the very first episode, and those breathtaking, kick-ass, awesome fighting sequences that had went down in that first episode of Echo, you're going, yo, this is, and you're literally saying to yourself, man, if this is a taste of things to come, man, they are really kicking it off on such a really good note here, right? And that would be the only time we would see Charlie Cox's Daredevil, but you're left with that going, okay, well, look, if this is the Daredevil that's going to be appearing in his own respected series, Daredevil Born Again, then okay, it's safe to say the respected franchise, like it's going to be okay. Whenever that series drops, it's going to be okay. A lot of people had got the misconception that this series was supposed to be about, and I don't know how people interpreted it this way, but they did. But you had individuals that felt that this series was going to be about Daredevil and Kingpin, and it's like, I don't know, like they literally, some people were literally expecting for Daredevil and Kingpin to carry this show, and Echo is just like this minor, and it's like, no, it's called Echo for a reason. You also had people, believe it or not, you also had people that weren't fans of the whole American Sign Language, too much subtitle, they got to pause to read stuff, and you actually had people that were complaining about stuff like that, and it's just, for me, that's just a bit insensitive, right? He just, whatever. You had others that did not like the Native American aspects of it. That's all I got to say on that. I was like, ooh, but for me, when I looked at that first episode, particularly, I'm going, yo, if this is a taste of things to come, okay, yes, I am definitely all in, but please, we need to explore a lot more of Echo's relationship with Kingpin. And I felt that with the first episode particularly, and I keep going back to the first episode because the first episode, it was somewhat of a recap for those that did not watch the Hawkeye series in which Echo had made their initial debut, right? But if you didn't watch Hawkeye, it was okay because episode 1 pretty much had got you caught up to speed and everything. And, from there, you go into this, what could seem detached, almost separate from the series. You go into these flashbacks, with each episode, but it's tying all together without putting too much out there. It's all tying together to how it's all connected to Echo in the present and everything. Okay. For me, I was really hoping that they would really dive deeper and deeper into the relationship of Kingpin and Echo. They did, but so much that for my personal taste, it left me wanting even more. And they had a really great opportunity to really explore it on all fronts. I don't know if you guys were on top of your soap operas back in the day, but I'll definitely mention this soap, but I'll also mention Walking Dead. That way it's a little bit more up to date as far as trends go and all that. But as far as soaps goes, great actor that I love and respect a great deal. I think he would have been phenomenal in Hollywood under the right people. I think he would have been a megastar. But Roger Howarth, he used to play this great daytime villain named Todd Manning. They're like the most heinous, despicable crap, most evil badass that you would come across. And he was Roger Howarth was nominated for so many Emmys and other stuff, daytime soaps, for portraying this character like for multiple years and everything. Dude was so good on that show that a lot of times they pulled that soap from daytime and put it in prime time, and it was crushing it as far as the viewership goes back in the day. But what I particularly had loved about the Todd Manning character is when he would have these intimate moments with his daughter, Star. I forget the name of the actress that had, played Star, but they would have these really great sentimental, emotional father-daughter scenes and all that. It was great stuff. Showed you great humility. And I wanted to see a lot more of that explored throughout this Echo series, but it was pretty much, look, we're just going to give you enough so that you know the gist. You get it, you understand, and that's it. And it was just kind of like, well, I mean, okay, if this is, or you think about Judith and Negan from The Walking Dead. You think about their respected relationship and everything. Yeah, Negan can be this big, hard ass, all he wants and everything, but when he's around Judith, he totally lets his guard down, and he is totally uncensored. He's unfiltered, and he actually connects to her on a human and emotional level. And you're wanting, as you watch this series, you'll come to that same conclusion as I am. Hey, I wish this could have been explored a lot more. They had the foundation, and they would have benefited, I think, more from having additional episodes instead of it just being a five episode run, 5-episode arc. They would have benefited more if it would have been maybe extended to 10 episodes. Okay. So people brought up the fact that, it's obvious the girl that plays Echo, Alaqua Fox. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Alaqua Cox. Alaqua Cox. It's obvious that she's pregnant in some scenes, because when you're thinking about when this went into production, you're going into production, and then when she got pregnant, she announced her pregnancy Mother's Day of 2023, and she delivered October of last year. So, you guys are going to have to kind of, okay, she made the announcement Mother's Day, and then the baby was delivered in October. So if you want to say, okay, so basically she got pregnant like beginning of the year then of 2023. Like, yeah, exactly. So I mentioned that because some people brought up the fact that, hey, you can see clear as day that she's got a baby bump going on. She's trying to conceal it and all that. And, so she can obviously only do but so much stuff. Right. Obviously, this is where you rely on a stunt double and all that. It's very interesting, this particular series, because you're looking at this, and as a whole, you go, what the hell? Oh, my girls came in here. They're brawling. You look at this series, and it's interesting because it's not quite a superhero series on the one hand. Yet we've got these... there we go. Yeah, we've got these supernatural, we got these this power thing, weird stuff that's going on at the same time. But it's not quite a superhero movie. It's not quite heavy enough on the action, yet you're going, I appreciate the little bit of action that they did give me. The way it ended, I wasn't really a fan of. Particularly, I wasn't a fan of the way it ended, in regards to Echo, because you're just going, well, damn, that's flat. By the time it ends, you're left more intrigued with, okay, so what's going to happen with Kingpin? What's going to happen with Daredevil? Maybe I need to catch up on Daredevil, because I didn't watch it before. Maybe I need to see what I missed, try to somehow get myself ready on what I can expect. It's a weird mix. It's not a terrible show by any stretch. It's not a bad show by any stretch. I think there's going to be a little bit of something for everybody. Something for everybody that they'll be able to find, latch onto, that they'll really like. I know a lot of people went on record and said, hey, they really liked the first episode. It really reeled them in. And I definitely agree with those sentiments. That first episode is really going to hook you. And then you're going to be like, okay, so what happens next? Let's see. And these episodes are over in like about 36, just under 40 minutes. So it's very easy for you to wow off that first episode. And then the second one, you're going, wow, we really kind of brought the pacing down, didn't we? We dramatically brought it down, and you don't quite get back to that point of where things were with that first episode. The CGI, for the love of God, Kevin Feige, Marvel, do something with your goddamn CGIing already. I'm remembering the scene there, particularly where Echo is jumping onto a train. And the CGI was so poor throughout that whole thing. Extremely dark, very spotty. I could barely make out what the hell was going on during that whole ordeal. It's like, turn on a little bit more light so we can see what the hell is going on. Why don't you? Wasn't a fan of that whatsoever. But yeah, I polled you guys, by the way. Wanted to know, for those of you that saw Echo, what did you think about it? Over on, let's do YouTube first, as I got the YouTube joint open. Over in the community section on YouTube, I gave you decent amount of options. A, B, C, D, and then bad, just bad, man. And on YouTube, the way it's looking right now, we've got a tie for 10%. A and B. There's your tie. Top dog right now, 80%. Bad, just bad, man. I really wish those that had said bad, they would have expanded upon. Just how I'm mentioning, hey, this is what's up and all this other stuff. I really wish people would have went on record and said, hey, this is why I rated it this way. Meanwhile, over on X, I am seeing the following. I didn't really put out that many posts, but bear with me a second here. Here we go. A little bit more all over the place on X. So I'm seeing 18% gave the series a C. 21% bad, just bad. 28% giving the series an A. And coming in at top dog right now at 31%, a B. Shout out to the few people that had commented in regards to the series. Slade Haynes on X writes, I'm still on the fence about it. I'm not sure if I'm ready to commit to another series. I'm still trying to get through some of the shows I've been watching for a while now. So Slade kind of gives you the impression maybe he hasn't watched it. But you can kind of understand what we were talking about earlier in regards to the fatigue. The fatigue is definitely real. Meanwhile, Wilderman95 says, I think I liked the final episode of Secret Invasion and She-Hulk better. That's how bad it was. So take that however you want it. You can either take that as Okay, so the final episode of Echo, he didn't like compared to, or maybe he's trying to say, look, the series as a whole compared to what he's referencing, he didn't like. There was one other post I had put out talking about Echo, where I gave it its respected props, where it shined the most. I said Marvel's Echo is fantastic. Just finished the first episode, and I must say I love the pacing of storytelling, cinematography, and fighting scenes. Very refreshing, unique approach of cinema. And it was, especially the way they incorporated the American Sign Language and the particular tribe that they worked in conjunction of production and everything, which apparently there's going to be a documentary Echo behind the scenes special that's going to be coming out later on this month that's going to show you the great lengths and strides that they went through for such accuracy, especially in regards to learning American Sign Language and all of that. But yeah, so now you guys, you got the 4-on-1 on what is up with that particular series. And I'll leave it up to you. If you heard me going on and on and on about the first episode, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you guys at this point are saying, well, let me at least check out the first episode, see what Leah's talking about, and then maybe kind of go from there. But if you end up watching the entire series, definitely share with me your thoughts. You can get at me on social media, or you can email me, thercwrshow@gmail.com. Make sure you put the THE in there. Hey, some wrestling related news. Shout out to CJ Perry, formerly known as Lana. She is hospitalized once again due to a possible second infection. Not sure if you guys had heard about it, but she had announced on social media that she's going to be returning to the hospital due to a possible second infection in her hand. Remember, she had surgery on her finger to clear out the previous infection a couple of weeks ago after getting a splinter. And she was shortly discharged from the hospital, as you guys recall, and she was able to participate in AEW's World End pay-per-view event. And now it seems as though she's going back in again. So really, sincerely, hope CJ Perry has a speedy recovery. But most importantly, I hope this is nipped once in the bud, right? Just nip it once in the bud for all. Just bad. And main meat and potatoes of what has had a lot of social media in a frenzy this week has been Tony Khan taking to X, letting the kid in him come out to play as he decided to take shots at WWE and the USA Network for Jinder Mahal getting a World Heavyweight title shot. For those of you that maybe did not see WWE Raw this week, Jinder Mahal will be facing Seth Rollins on next Monday's Raw for a shot at Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship. So, all this going down after Tony Khan, who took some criticism online after Hook challenged Samoa Joe for a future shot at AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Remember, that's going to be going down on Saturday's Collision. Or not this week, but I believe the following week. No. I think it's this week. That's going to be happening. Khan deciding to go on social media and saying a double standard at 730 Hook, so he's referencing his boy Hook, 28-1 career record on winning streak, calls out the champ, a logical challenge, sparks online outrage. Now, legit, where is this outrage? Was there legit outrage? I haven't been messing around with social media the past couple of days on a regular basis, but was there really outrage? Because I'm just hearing this, okay, Cook won in the challenge, Samoa Joe. Okay, I'm saying, okay, look, if you break it down to me in a way where, no, it was natural. It was a natural progression, the way Hook just ended up, I'm coming after Samoa Joe. And I'm not that far behind on some of the stuff that I've been checking out from AEW. So for the most part, I'm pretty caught up. I like the way that things have been handled thus far. And look, nobody is saying that Hook is going to become the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Nobody is saying that. We're just saying, look, the guy has strung up all these wins. Okay, and now he wants to swing at the big times. He wants to take on the World Heavyweight Champion in Samoa Joe. Okay, well, if we're going to do that, that's fine, right? But anyway, Tony Khan goes on to say, Jinder has literally lost every single match he's been in for the past year. Immediately gets a title shot. Where is the rage? Look, Tony Khan, he does have a point there. Let's just say, for the sake of the argument, there really were people that were taking shots at Tony Khan and AEW over Hook getting a shot at Samoa Joe for the World Heavyweight Championship. If there legit were individuals, masses of people that were doing this, and all were legit, these weren't bots, and yet there was no outrage or whatever for Jinder Mahal. That is, to Tony Khan's point, that is a bit of a double standard. I will definitely give him that. Now, to defend WWE and, just a little bit, or even to a point, defend WWE fans. I honestly believe in my heart of hearts that wrestling fans and WWE fans collectively, Jinder, he ain't taking that title away from Seth Rollins, much like what I just said a few minutes ago. Hook ain't taking that title away from Samoa Joe. So we know exactly where this is going. Now, to Tony Khan's point, whether some people want to give him his props or not, no matter how we may feel about some of the questionable booking decisions that's played out in AEW from the previous year, going into now, and just everything that we've seen so far over the years from AEW, at least you can make an argument that, hey, look, at least when it comes to Hook, they have tried to be smart in who they have Hook matching up with, and they've been telling this really great story of him going in there doing his thing in the ring. He really is a very young, talented individual who is barely scratching the surface. He ain't even hit his peak yet, and just all this stuff that this kid is able to do right now, just fast forward 5 years from now, 10 years from now, this dude is going to be an absolute freaking beast. Okay? But I would like to believe WWE fans, wrestling fans collectively, they're looking at this Jinder Mahal thing and they're going, whatever, man, this ain't going nowhere. Ain't going to be no new champion crowned. Much like, hey, Hook might have this undefeated streak, but you just put the title on Samoa Joe. We're in the Samoa Joe era right now. And tell you what, these other programs that could be coming down the pipeline between Hangman Page, Swerve Strickland, and those MJF, those look, Adam Cole, those look more intriguing and enticing than Hook and Samoa Joe. I get that, but at least from the Hook standpoint, Hook has been stringing it together. He's been involved in many segments, talking segments, all that other stuff. Jinder Mahal, not so much, but as you all pointed out, hey, look at the viewership. Jinder Mahal's one joint with The Rock. Look at how they just crushed it on social media as far as views and engagement goes compared to a week's worth of AEW programming and all this other stuff, right? So there's definitely pros and cons for a lot of these sides that we're talking about right now. Tony Khan goes on to say, hashtag AEW Dynamite tomorrow on TBS. There he goes again with these freaking joints. Meanwhile, USA Network, They reference Khan's recent use of the wrestling database cage match as an example of how well received his shows has been, which is like a big no-no. Why would you do that? Why would you even reference? I mean, that's really busting out the mark in a mofo, right? You know, look, I'm not going to lie to you guys. From time to time here on the show, but only when it comes to the pay-per-views, you've seen the trend that we do. We'll either go to sites like Cage Match or the other one, Wrestling Database. I can't remember the name of it right now. But Cage Match is the one that's really, really updated. The folks over there do a good job updating that on a real-time basis, basically, right? Like, as soon as a match goes down, like within 5 minutes, stuff's updated on their site and everything. But, you know, we show love because it's nice to incorporate not only what people are saying on X or Facebook or YouTube. You know, it's nice to try to see what people are saying in the forums, comment section, right? All that as well. And, you know, here on the show, we'll show love to Cage Match, the database, and I'll read to you guys the most critical review, rating for a wrestling event, and I'll read the most neutral, and I'll read to you the most positive. That way you guys can kind of have, you know, all the wonderful realms and everything, right? But to base the success rate, fail rate of your pay-per-view as a whole off of the Cage Match wrestling site, come on, dude. That just makes you come off looking like such... Mark isn't even the word. Seriously, mark is not even the word to use, because I think wrestling marks would go, wait, what's wrong with you? Seriously, that's not a mark. That's not a smart mark. That is just, dude, you're really operating that way? Like, why? It's kind of one of those... one of those moments. Each its own, but it's just one of those moments. Anyway, USA Network, they reference Khan's use of the cage match joint, which was hilarious because it was actually Raj Giri that had got things up and running, because he posted on social media a picture of Seth Rollins and Jinder Mahal. And he said, hey, not for nothing, but these two had faced one another over in NXT. There was a tournament, and at the very end, Jinder Mahal had became the champion. Okay, so you know what? I'm sure for those that work in WWE and they love doing revisionist history, going through the archives, trying to make things make sense and all that good stuff, you're going, okay, well, you know what? If you're the WWE archive / writing team, this is some good stuff that you can use going into next week's match between these two guys, and you can easily bring that up. Hey, well, lightning strike. Hey, one thing about Jinder Mahal, you expect the unexpected, because like this dude, when he gets it all firing on all cylinders, he can be one dangerous, deadly man. Will he have Seth Rollins' number this go round, or is Seth going to get him? You know, we shall see. Okay, so yeah, okay, cool, right? USA Network, they quoted Raj's post and said, what was the cage match rating? So there's your nice little dig right there and everything. Tony Khan responding to this: a moral victory for USA is one win more than their world title challenger Jinder Mahal has had in the past 364 days, because it's been literally a full year since he won a match. You really put AEW in our place, getting Jinder Mahal in a big match on your TV show. Do it more often. This is just, you know, you're just going, why? Dude, like, Monday nights ain't even got anything to do with you. Like, if you should be doing anything, Tony Khan, on Monday nights, hey, wrestling fans, you know, I know he likes doing the hashtag. I'd be like, hashtag, hey, wrestling fans, while you're enjoying the wrestling, don't forget this week's AEW Dynamite is going to be loaded. We got blah, blah, blah versus blah, blah, blah. And in the main event, blah, blah, blah versus blah, blah, blah. Catch you this Wednesday. Da da da. Like, that is how you freaking do it. Even podcasters. And look, I'm not, truth be told, anybody that has ever done a podcast, currently does a podcast, anybody that is a vlogger, a blogger, when certain things are on TV, and we're talking about live sports and entertainment, mofos are on the social media, they're giving their thoughts, and they're also using it as an opportunity to get over their respected brand, their respected product, because they're trying to get as many eyeballs on their stuff as possible, especially if it's new comers to their content that they can somehow transfer over into regular subscribers. Okay? So, why Tony Khan isn't just playing that respected game? Hey, he takes this stuff obviously very, very personal. So then we had a Twitter user get involved here who says Tony forgets that he literally gave Abaddon a title shot after being off AEW TV for over a year. The same exact situation as Gender. To which Eric Bischoff, I love EB. I love Eazy-E, man. He gets involved and he says, hey, at Tony Khan, he actually ats him. Is this true or is it a bot? Tony Khan replies to him, no, not true at all. He ats Eric Bischoff, not true at all. Abaddon returned to AEW and they won a 4-way match on TNT against other great wrestlers to earn a title shot, which is completely different than someone going a full year, losing every match they're in, plus getting a title shot without a single win. I can't dispute that with Tony Khan. I cannot dispute that whatsoever, because if you're following WWE's logic, you're going, okay, 1 week, Jinder Mahal gets owned by Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Okay, now the very next week, he verbally gets owned by Seth Rollins, and yet we get this match coming up between Seth Rollins and Jinder Mahal. Look, I will tell you one of the main reasons why Jinder Mahal is getting this opportunity that he's getting here, and that is because of the way he carried himself during that Dwayne The Rock Johnson segment, which I don't even know where the viewership is now across social media. I lost track after 177 million shares throughout social media. I wouldn't be surprised if it's past the 200 million mark now, but it takes two to tangle, right? You can't do it all by yourself. I would imagine Jinder is getting a little bit more love because, look, you were involved in this great segment. That was, okay, let's continue it on and, let's see what you're able to do right here with, right? But to Tony Khan's point, it's a very valid one, which is, okay, the guy is off TV for like a year. He hasn't won a match in like a year, and he freaking gets a title shot. There's like no build up. There's no proper, he just pretty much pops up, talks trash, and yeah, that's that. You can also look at it from a psychological standpoint, because if you're following the Seth Rollins character, the fans have been clamoring for, defend that title against CM Punk, and Rollins is going, look, at this point, the only way that match is going to happen is in CM Punk's dreams, or if he loads up the newest WWE video game. Like, fat chance of that happening. No, screw that guy. He's not worth my time. Right? And yet, we've got Jinder Mahal entering the mix. Here's the other thing that we got going on right now, too. In regards to Seth Rollins, just when we thought it was going to be Nakamura, no, sorry. Just when we thought maybe it was, no, sorry. Well, what about Drew McIntyre? No, sorry. So we're almost at a point right now where it's, we got to freshen it up a little bit. We got to make this somewhat interesting going into the Royal Rumble season. What can we do? And this is honestly a curveball. That's all I'm looking at this. It's a freaking curveball that they're doing, but I'm looking at what WWE is doing for Jinder Mahal. Nobody else has spoken about this at the level I'm mentioning it right now. I honestly believe this is just the powers that be in WWE's way of saying, Jinder, look, we appreciated what you did working with The Rock last week. You know, all that viewership that you got and everything. You know, we just want to toss you this bone. You know, let's ride that momentum, man. You know, hey, it is what it is. Right? That's how I'm looking at that. Let's continue on here. Oh, this is some good stuff. Let's see. So what happened after that? I'm just looking in my notes here because I jotted all of this down. Jinder Mahal coming in a couple of days later on social media, replying, "Who TF? Who the is Hook? Watch Monday Night Raw on at USA Network Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern." So he's doing his own little dig in there of Tony Khan with the social media plugin and all that good stuff. Then I love this. I really do love all this, right? So after Tony Khan responds to Eric Bischoff about, no, this is what went down with Abaddon. Hey, Eric, reading would be your friend. Bischoff came right back with the clown emoji on Khan's posting of a double standard, to which Tony Khan responded with a Joan Crawford meme that reads, "Get out of my sight, you miserable has-been." To which Bischoff says, "You got a thing for that hairstyle, don't you, Tony?" I mean, you see the meme with Joan Crawford, and it definitely looks very similar to Tony Khan's hairdo. So I love the fact that, you know, he's almost kind of actually no, not Joan Crawford. I apologize. It is an actress. It's a soap actress. Her name escapes me right now. I don't know why I was thinking Joan Crawford, though. But no, it's not Joan Crawford. It's somebody else. Sad, I can't think of the name right now. But it might be a little bit past most of you all's time if you're a younger listener. But like anybody that's in their 40s and up, they would know exactly who she is and everything. But, you know, it's almost like Eric Bischoff was kind of implying, you know, you trying to look like a girl there? Like, what's going on? And Eric Bischoff has pretty much been fighting off all kinds of trolls left and right since. Because I guess at this point, Tony Khan just backed the hell out and just said, okay, I ain't really got no other kind of comeback, so I'm just going to chill after this. But that's the latest drama that's been going on here with frickin' Tony Khan and everything, when what he really should have done to kick off the new week, because I would like to imagine he's got some figureheads in Warner Brothers Discovery that relays to him certain information before it becomes released. What really should have been going down is him getting a hold of those press releases where Warner Brothers Discovery was touting on the rating success of programs such as AEW being across TBS and TNT, talking about how, hey, the Collision, the Rampages, the Dynamites, they're bringing in like 4 million viewers each week combined, and they're doing this, and combine that with the NBA on TNT, we're doing this, and look at the movies that we got going on, we're doing this. That would have been a really good way for Tony Khan to really kick things off, right? That would have been good. But he did not go in that respected direction, and just once again, this just has him looking so bad. This has him looking like a damn fool. And look, before anybody goes, oh, well, what about when Eric Bischoff used to be picking on WWE back in the day? And look, there were times before WCW. I know it because I lived it. I lived it in real time. A lot of you guys didn't. Before WCW went on that 83 weeks run, yeah, there were a lot of times where WCW was getting his ass kicked. And Eric Bischoff wasn't appearing on WCW programming, crying and all that other crap. You didn't pick up no Pro Wrestling Illustrated or whatever wrestling magazine was out back then An exclusive interview from WCW's president, Eric Bischoff, complaining about WWE. You didn't see any of that crap that was going on. Yeah, there might have not been social media running around back then, but I guarantee you, if social media was in place back then, you definitely wouldn't have seen Eric Bischoff crying, oh, they're picking on me and all this. No. And ultimately, the way Eric Bischoff started countering WWE programming, I mean, y'all have seen enough of the history stories on WCW and the Monday Night War and everything. You know how it all went down, but eventually Eric Bischoff got down and dirty, and he just started letting his actions speak. Instead of, right, when the going got tough, he just said, okay, you know what? All right, it's gonna go down like this. Okay, fine. If it's going to go down like this, then, all right, this is how we going to play it. This is how we going to play it. Right? And, mad respect to him. Tony Khan, just every single time something does not go his way, he always, as far as self-accountability, which is something that we strive here on the show, we always bring it up year after year, multiple times a year. Self-accountability. Where is the self-accountability? When it comes to self-accountability, it's any and everybody else's fault except for Tony Khan's. This should have been all about, hey, yo, look at what we just did. I just got this great report from Warner Brothers Discovery. Hey, I want to just take this time out. Thank you to fans. And hey, yo, we're going to be recognizing Brody Lee. We got a special tribute that's going to be coming up for the man. Obviously, we weren't able to do it because we had World's End in December and everything. All hands was on deck for that. But now that the smoke is cleared, yeah, man, we got to show some mad love to one of our own here, man. We still think about that dude every single day. Make sure you check out our Brody Lee special. Take the freaking high road. Take the freaking high road. Why even feed into, right? Another one of those instances where instead of putting the product over, the talent over, inadvertently this guy pretty much, and for the wrong reasons, gets himself over. He's trending for the wrong reasons. Like, no, I just need for this guy, and I agree with everybody. I mean, we've been saying it here before. All the main figureheads have been saying it because I actually worked in public relations. My wife, she still currently works in public relations to a certain degree. And like, it's something that we've been talking about for years here on this show, which is Tony Khan needs to stop being the face of the company. He needs to stop doing those damn media scrums because he always comes out of it looking like a damn chump. There needs to be somebody else that's in his place, that is more experienced, that can handle all of that, and then some. He needs that Nick Khan, all right? He needs that Nick Khan, that George Barrows. He needs one of those kind of cats that can handle those media scrums, that can handle those conference calls, all right? He needs to just take a step back, play in the shadows. Be a silent partner. You still want to play Booker, want to run the show? Okay, fine. But when it comes to stuff in front of the camera, no, let's have somebody else. But he can't help himself. He can't help himself because at the end of the day, he wants for this vanity project, for every success that comes with it, he wants to be out in front. Yeah, that's me. I'm the one that's responsible for that. Something that Eric Bischoff has said, very seldom I quote Eric Bischoff, but I mean, him, Corny, they've been on the money. Even Russo, all those guys have been on the money when it comes to Tony Khan and just the way he's been handling things. Again, was saying it for years, way before they even started jumping on board, although I will give Cornette credit. Cornette, hey, look, I can't really say too much because I signed an NDA, but, bad storm of brewing. And he, day one, a lot of people thought he was hating. But he called it from day one. But something that Eric Bischoff has said recently, I want to read this to you. But this is a perfect example of what I mean. We've seen so many big names come into AEW. Pick one. Let's put CM Punk off to the side. Pick any other. The net impact on the growth of the business, other than selling T-shirts, has been zip, nada. The television audience continues to deteriorate while WWE continues to grow. You look at their ticket sales outside of anomalies or outliers, I should say, like the UK, and they're not doing nearly as well as they were in the past there. Have you looked at their Dynamite shows? You know, check out WrestleTix, which I highly recommend. I've put them over before, but you guys really need to be on top of them throughout social media. They give some really, really great numbers. WrestleNomics does as well, but WrestleTix for sure. Check out WrestleTix on social media, and you can see their ticket sales. And, you know, they're playing in 10,000 to 15,000 seat venues, but they're scaling them down to 4,000. A week before the event, they haven't sold out yet, so it doesn't matter. You know, and he's absolutely right. I know that there was an AEW show last week, something that was involving Sting. And, you know, the way it played out on television, you're going, oh, wow, this is a great turnout. Look at all of these seats filled up. And then I guess somebody that was actually there in attendance, I know ROH Botches, they had shared some fan cam footage. It was like a 360 perspective or whatever. And you're going, the hell is going on with the other sides over here? What, Jesus, what the hell is, but everything's great. Remember, we talked about it here a couple weeks ago. According to Tony Khan, everything is great. Everything is perfect. You say to me, what about a certain situation involving one of your wrestlers and potentially some form of sexual harassment, and Tony Khan says to you, AEW is the safest, greatest wrestling promotion on earth. It's like, that wasn't the question, my man. Like, seriously, like that wasn't the question. Seriously, I wish that somebody could just hold him and like everybody, but him at the top. Dude, your social media, this is how you need to play the game. Right? You want to try so hard to be that WWE alternative. You want to try so hard to beat WWE. But it's like, dude, like, at some point while you were growing up as a wrestling fan, you admired WWE. You respected WWE. You know, you appreciated what the McMahon family had brought to the table and everything. Like, ask yourself, have you ever seen Stephanie McMahon roll this way on social media? Have you ever seen Triple H roll this way on social media? Have you ever seen Vince McMahon roll this way on social media? There's a reason for that. They ain't got time to be playing kid games. They trying to make money. They trying to be about that money. And if it ain't about making money, you're just wasting your freaking time. Because time is money. Right? That's, you know, I'm really hoping that in 2024, Tony Khan, because, like, there's no excuse. There is no excuse. He's old enough now. There's no excuse to continue to go down this rabbit hole. Is just the definition of not just insanity, but stupidity as well. For real. Let's see here. I always have a hard time trying to see comments with my little scrolly thingamajigger. So bear with me a second here, because I see a couple of comments that had came in. And then we're pretty much going to dip on out of here after that. Hang on a second here. Money is talking. I love when money is talking. What we got here? Nope, I said what I needed to say, so I'm good. All right, let me try to pull up the comments here, because I see a couple of comments that had came in via YouTube, but unfortunately it's cut off, so I can't see everything that is being said, so bear with me a quick second here. All right, let's go to videos. We'll go to live. There we go. Now we're good. All right, thank you guys for your patience. Is there people you can see AEW building a babyface faction with? Of all the questions to ask, that's the one that we get. Not that that's a bad question, but I mean, we hit some really important stuff here in regards to Tony Khan and all that. A baby faction. Technically, you're getting your baby faction right now, which is Bullet Club Gold and the Acclaimed. So you're technically getting it right now. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, if I was Tony Khan, I would seriously, because we're flipping people left and right like freaking burgers on the grill. We're flipping them way too much, and it ain't even ready to flip yet as far as heels going in the faces, and the conversion rate for heels in the faces is much, much smaller of a ratio than the opposite. I say if Tony Khan is smart as far as 2024 goes, he gives some strong consideration to, because honestly, no bull. I've seen enough of Switchblade Jay White's work. I think he would be phenomenal as a babyface. I think that the Gun Kids would be great as baby faces as well. Yeah, that whole thing that you got going on, which we had highlighted earlier in the night during our Dynamite review. How these guys, it seems as though maybe they're going to entertain putting their differences to the side in storyline and joining forces to take it to the I was about to call them the United Kingdom, the Undisputed Kingdom. Yeah. But to answer your question, there it is right there. And if they make that collapse, they don't capitalize on that. That's their fault. That's Tony Khan and them's fault. But it's literally staring right at them in the face. You do it just right, that could be one of the best factions going on for AEW since the days of, dare I say, the Jericho Appreciation Society, within reason. So, hope that answers your question. There were some other questions that came in that I want to dive into, because usually what I'm trying to do here on the Wednesday shows now is let you guys know if you have like a wrestling or non-wrestling related question, you can post it, if you want to be anonymous, that is, using the NGL link that I had mentioned. And some weird questions came in. I kind of feel as though maybe NGL had put in some of these themselves. Like there was one joint that said, "Who was the last girl you kissed?" Well, the last woman I kissed was my wife when she was getting ready to leave out for work earlier this morning while I was getting ready to take care of some errands. Or like this one, "My boyfriend likes you, won't stop talking about you." It's like, I guess thanks. Or, "I think you're pretty awesome." Keep in mind, the joint says, "Ask me anything anonymously for real." And then, like, I can kind of tell when, if these are legit real, then, hey, okay, whatever, man. Cool. Let's see. "I think I have a crush on you." Okay. Thanks. I guess. "Are you looking to date someone right now?" "No, I'm happily married. Thank you very much." Yeah, weird stuff like that. It's kind of like, I might start doing something where, like, to let me know, like, you're not a bot, make sure you put RCWR at the beginning and then ask your question. That way I know, who's a freaking, okay, this is spam, but don't they sound weird? These are like the weirdest freaking joints that came in. This is via the NGL app. Weirdest freaking things. I've had people egg me on. They're like, "Dude, you need to do more Q&A. Do more Q&A stuff, man. That'll really get the folks in. Do more Q&A." It's like, okay, all right, cool. And I've seen people have really good success with NGL. And I tell you what, when we were doing it like regularly, just as an experiment for like the first 2 months, yeah, we had got some really good questions that came in and everything. And now since we've brought it back, these are like the weirdest things that I've been seeing here. It's really, really weird. But, I'm going to assume only some of those was real while everything else was just, yeah. So, programming notes. Next edition of the RCWR show going to be coming at you live on Monday night, January 15th, 2024. As we're getting closer to the end of the month, new semester is right around the corner. I'll keep you guys posted. The way I have the scheduling set up right now, we should still be okay as far as the Monday night shows go. Wednesday nights should be fine as well, but it's a lot as far as classes that I'm taking this semester. I'm doing almost 20 credit hours worth of classes this semester. So depending on the volume of homework, I think that's really gonna it could be worst case scenario, and I'm just keeping it honest with you guys. Worst case scenario for the semester, we could just be on once a week. The goal is to continue doing twice a week like we've been doing for years. But worst case scenario, because of the volume of homework, potentially, we could just be doing one show a week. And if that happens, obviously, we'll continue to do Monday nights. There's no doubt about that. We'll continue to do Monday nights. But I'll keep you guys posted on that, let you know how everything is going to be playing out. Make sure you go vote on our Wrestling Awards joint. I posted the link. If you're checking this out via YouTube, just look in the chat replay. You can see it in there. And I'll also make sure that it's posted in the episode description. If you're following the show throughout social media, it's live throughout our social media links as well. I want to recognize some of our show sponsors, because without their kind contributions, content like what you're checking out right now would not be made possible. Shout out to my guys at shoptotallytshirt.com. Whether you have a sporting event, a charitable event, and you need some t-shirts, some hoodies, some sweaters, shoptotallytshirt.com can hook you up. Not only do they offer great quality, but they also offer that quality and great prices. I'm talking some really, really good prices. So if you got yourself a certain budget, they definitely will be able to help you out with that, as it comes with top-notch customer service. Check out shoptotallytshirt.com. We're also brought to you in part by doback.com. If you are looking for the perfect gift for him, her, or for the children, doback.com can help. And the best part, shopping through doback.com, you can get mad discounts off. I mean, we're talking cashback offers, discount offers, coupon offers as well. Name brand stuff too. So check them out today, doback.com. Love our sponsors. I've had so many other people that have tried to hit me up for advertising opportunities on the show, and I've been shooting them down. Like I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, I am more interested in working with those that, it makes perfect sense. It's definitely suitable for you guys to listen to and everything. It's up you all's alley. Whereas before it was just, yeah, we'll work with you. What's up? Really trying to be smart about it. So hopefully you guys that check out the show on demand and on the downloads appreciate that. Speaking of on demand and on the downloads, just collectively, I want to say this before we roll out. Thank you guys that have been, whether you're liking the content or you're sharing it or you're subscribing, appreciate what you guys have been doing. I see that for on demand and downloads, numbers have been going up. I see that with some of the stuff we've been putting out live on YouTube, numbers have been really, really great. I shared a image the other day where I got a YouTube recap. I like that YouTube gives you this nice, cool little recap. It's a weekly recap of how you're doing and the stats and everything. And apparently we had almost 10,000 people tune in to check out the content from the previous week. Now, that's not the way it's spread it out. It's not just particularly on one video, just for all the content that was put out in That includes shorts. Just collectively, we had almost 10,000 views, and we had got over 330 new subscribers. Of course, the most important thing is, okay, we may have picked up that many subscribers, but how many is going to continue to stay on board and check out the content and all that, and only time will tell in regards to that. But you guys have really been representing the past couple of weeks, and I definitely appreciate that. Great start to 2024 when it's all said and done. So, on that note, Be Kind Rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads, wherever you get your podcast. Just search the RCWR Show. Get at me on X, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Use the keywords the RCWR Show. And until next go round, wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go round, y'all. Take care.